Stop and think about fire as an element. It's probably the most explosive. It can be an asset.
We can use fire in a prescribed sense, and we can clean up areas that are overloaded with fuel.
Fire in the wood stove behind me is a wonderful warming thing, but a wildfire moving at 60 or 70 miles an hour across hundreds of thousands of acres is a terrible beast.
Get 'em.
Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting.
Welcome to another fast-paced installment of Ducks Unlimited TV. I'm Ashley Horvitz. DUTV co-host Doug Larsen continues his West Coast tour in the beautiful lands of Washington State. There, he joins longtime volunteer and forest firefighter Kent Contreras for another duck opener. Larsen and Contreras discuss the challenges facing wetlands conservation and the dangers and triumphs of forest fire prevention. The fog starts out heavy, but when it lifts, the action is hot and the scenery is captivating in the evergreen state. Right now on DUTV.
I've been fortunate enough to hunt in Washington several times, but I think most of my hunting heretofore has been on the western side of the state. You know, Puget Sound, Seattle area, and some of the high country in the central part of the state, and I've never really drifted this far east, and it's been a mistake. I really wish that I had discovered this area earlier. It's just got, there's everything here. Just a staggeringly beautiful part of the country. And opening day in Eastern Washington is like opening day anywhere else. We got here a little early, and it was fun to help see blinds and help prepare blinds and panels and things and get decoys ready. And
the night before opening day is one of the hardest nights because you don't sleep a wink.
Kent and his guys are the kind of guys you love to hunt with. If they tell you to be here at 5:30, they've been here since 5:20. Everything in great order. They were organized, and it was just a well-oiled machine.
This morning's hunt, we set out 2 dozen Higdon decoys and some goose floaters and some full-body geese. I've been watching the area for a while, and the birds have been using it basically as a sheltering area.
I had a panel blind set up in front of a big hawthorn bush, you know, on a little island in the river, so we could face a little backwater. We'd seen a bunch of ducks in the area Friday afternoon, you know, so the excitement level was pretty high. I would tell you that this is probably one of the prettiest places I've ever shot ducks, but you're gonna have to take my word for it because the fog is so thick. You couldn't read a newspaper if you got arms as long as I have. But opening day here in Eastern Washington with Kent and Alan, and we're chipping away on our ducks, and it's great to be here, guys. I wish we'd get some wind or get rid of this fog, though.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming, Doug. Yeah, I'm glad you could come.
Single right on top. You know, look, there's just not a lot you can do about it. I've had some hunts over the years that have been interesting in the fog, but typically, you know, ducks are tough. They hear the calls and they'll come in, but you won't get these ducks to finish because they won't finish down through that fog bank. So that's what we fought. Go.
The Pend Oreille Valley Ducks Unlimited chapter is it's a small chapter. When you think about Washington, we're not the Seattle or Tacoma area.
Pretty active chapter.
Yeah, we've got a lot of hunters on the committee. farmers on the committee that are really involved. And we get huge support from the community. We get about 60% of our items that we throw in auction from local businesses.
Local businesses?
Yeah. We receive cash donations from businesses that really don't have that hunting background.
You know, you have such water issues in the West that I think you have people that really are interested in ducks, they're interested in habitat, but also I think, you know, you see more now involvement with clean water. Oops, out front, out front. Let's go. Maybe we just haven't had enough chaos. Maybe just a little chaos would help us out.
Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting. Mossy Oak Shadow Grass Habitat, the official camo of Ducks Unlimited. Browning Firearms, the best there is. Native Nurseries, hand-selected, hand-grown plants for wildlife. Higdon Outdoors, quality, customer service, innovation, that's Higdon. Mossy Oak Properties, America's land specialist. And Ducks Unlimited celebrates 15 million acres conserved.
With all the excitement of opening day, we were really looking forward to Saturday morning. And we chipped away a little bit in the morning, but we knew that, you know, we killed some ducks, but we knew that we really hadn't hammered the spot. So on day 2, we went right back and essentially hunted the same area backwards with an east wind to our back on a hillside just above the same backwater. And fortunately the rain came in overnight, rinsed that fog out, and we had a really nice second day hunt. Big ducks.
On the left, your side. Swing them back.
Not only was it interesting to be here hunting, but I really enjoyed my time here to talk with Kent and Clayton about their day jobs. I mean, I live in the Northeast. The guys that were with me on the DU trip are fellas from the South, and you know, we deal with the threat of tornadoes, an increasing threat of hurricanes, I think, each year, or at least tropical storms. And you know, in that part of the world, we really don't think about fire. Both Kent and Clayton are National Forest Service firefighters. Man, what an education to think about what these guys have done, you know, in their working careers, and hear about their daily lives and what it takes with military preparedness to battle these fires. Thank you.
One of the roles I do as a firefighter is a safety officer, and my job is to assess the risks that firefighters go through on the fire line. And those risks are plentiful. Burning trees that can fall down without making any sound, rocks that can roll down steep slopes. One of the big things that we really look at is the amount of exposure our firefighters have and to the elements that are on the fire line, as well as driving through from fire camp to the fire, through the fire. There's plenty of things to keep your head on a swivel when you're on the fire line.
Water as an element is a wonderful thing. You wash in it, you brush your teeth with it, you ride your boat on it, you hunt your ducks over it. But water, when powered by a hurricane, can be devastating and deadly. Same thing with fire.
It's exciting, it's beautiful in a sense when you see fire moving at such a high rate of speed. Weather plays a huge part in firefighting. And we look at the relative humidities, the wind speeds, the air temperatures. All those play a huge part on the fire line.
And not only are they out there fighting fires to protect people's property and the lives of people, but also for waterfowl. They're protecting the habitat.
I have such respect for all of our first responders, of course, whether it's the fireman that lives in your small town or the policeman that walks the beat. But these guys that are out protecting wild country and lives and property really deserve some more notoriety.
That's it, that's it, that's it, that's it, that's it. Thank you, Doug.
When Ducks Unlimited was founded back in 1937, the organization was the result of a few dedicated and passionate individuals with a common goal of rescuing North America's dwindling waterfowl population. They didn't know how they were going to get it done, but they knew that there must be like-minded people out there who would join the cause. 84 years later, DU volunteers hail from all across North America. The organization has grown to include programs for young children, high school and college-age young adults, and local chapters encompassing all ages. New volunteers and members are joining Ducks Unlimited every year, breathing new life into our mission to fill the skies with waterfowl today, tomorrow, and forever. There is no cookie-cutter DU volunteer. Our membership comes from all ages, all walks of life, and across North America. From classrooms to courthouses, from farms to foundations, from fighting fires to bringing electricity and plumbing to your home, you'll find DU members and volunteers everywhere. And what binds us all together is a conservation passion and the joy of being with one another, something we've all missed terribly this past year. To find out how you can join the team and become a DU member and a DU volunteer, please visit ducks.org.
DU Insights is brought to you by Mossy Oak Properties. Find your favorite place at mossyoakproperties.com.
When I first started in the early 80s, a large fire was 10,000 acres. And gradually over the years, we've been getting 20, 50. Now in the 2020s, you're seeing 100,000 acre fires. The mega fires we're seeing have more of a devastating impact on everything. It can affect drainages, creeks, wetlands. It takes a longer time for those areas to recover. If they burn hot enough, you can get silt and ash into our water systems, taking out drainages, blocking our creeks.
Like, as unlikely as it is that you're going to put a goose in this hole, standing in the trees with no goose decoys, but the cool thing about it is if you call geese and spin geese, it brings ducks. And the point being, I think it's a good lesson. Let's say that you're in a state that only allows one hen and you've got your hen in the blind and then another hen comes. You know, call that duck and spin it around the spread, because that circling duck will attract more ducks and more times than not.
You can come back.
I will stay out here all day for more of that. That was excellent. They work good. Dude, I hit them with the call, they literally flipped around on this big
Yeah, that was
pine.
textbook. You know, I kind of work the summers on fires and look forward to the hunting season, and then that's kind of my escape. You know, get out, get away, watch the dog work, enjoy what you got in front of you. And
most of the guys that I work with, and myself included, you know, we work to be able to do what we love. You know, we get a significant amount of time off in the winter because the fires aren't really burning. And
yeah, you get sort of like school teacher time off, maybe. Huh?
You do
like
a bit,
you get
yeah.
A big block of time.
Sure, depending on, you know, what your position is and what your primary job is.
Well, I want to just say this, guys. I know that, you know, in the country, it's become correct to thank police and fire and first responders, but I mean, honestly, I think you guys don't get the credit, and I thank you both. Thank you for your career.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Clayton, for what you're doing. I mean, I think that, you know, if the average man in the street understood that you guys went to work with a shelter in your backpack and, you know, understood the danger involved in your day-to-day, they would give you even more thanks and more respect than they do, and thank you both.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Single coming. The work I do as a firefighter relates back to my work with DU in the sense that there's a lot of accomplishment you feel as a firefighter, and you feel rewarded. And the same goes with Ducks Unlimited, the work we put into it. We get a lot of satisfaction and pride working with Ducks Unlimited and helping out as best we can the efforts that DU provides.
When you're shooting a crossing target, it is very important to learn to keep your eye on the bird and not on the gun. And that becomes difficult as leads get longer because the gun is pointing one place and the bird is somewhere else. And one way you can practice that without ever shooting is with this drill I stole from Gil and Vicki Ash. They call it the 3-bullet drill. What you do is you set 3 shells here about a foot apart. This is the one you focus on. This is the target. And then you bring the muzzle up to this one out here. You go back and you can bring it up here to this one on the right. Then you're learning to accept the gun in your peripheral vision while you keep a sharp focus on this center target. And that's what you're doing when you're shooting a crossing target. You're letting that gun go out and become kind of a blur. Keep a sharp focus on this center bird. This is a drill you can do out at the gun club. You can do it at home. You don't have to have shells. You can use salt shakers, whatever you want. Wherever you do it, it's going to help you hit crossing targets.
Ducks Unlimited's Guns and Gear is brought to you by Tetra Hearing, built for hunters by hunters. Calls, wings, or triggers. Hear the hunt like never before. DUTV is powered by Zinc Calls, a champion in every call. Browning Ammunition, the best there is. Biologic, scientifically proven wildlife products. Purina Pro Plan, nutrition that performs. Tetra Hearing, more than hearing protection, it's hearing perfection. Closed captioning for Ducks Unlimited Television is brought to you by Mossy Oak Bottomland, the official timber pattern of Ducks Unlimited.
The hallmark of a great retriever is one that'll sit steady, quiet in the duck blind. No noise, no running in, no whining, and certainly being patient, despite all the distractions that could be going about. The journey to get to this type of steadiness begins early, and it begins with place training. We have a dog trained to stay on a place board and be very comfortable with it. You can do this in and around the home. Even if we throw in denials, bumpers thrown around, kids running about, our dog stays nice, steady, and quiet. These are the behaviors that are going to transfer to the duck blind. Here we've got some denials, but now what about honor? Another dog working, another dog runs past, would it affect the dog? The puppy says, absolutely not. I'm nice and steady, he's comfortable in place. Even though the dog blasts off into the water, we have calm, quiet behaviors. Once we get behaviors of this sort, we can move them to the field, and we do that with the 3 Ds of steadiness: deny, delay, and diversion. We have a delay. The bump has already been placed out. The dog has to exhibit patient behaviors before he gets the retrieve. A denial goes to the rear. He ignores that and picks the delay. As he returns, a diversion flies. As a rule, we never send the dog for the delays and the diversions. We pick those up ourselves. Therefore, he doesn't learn to switch. Deny, delay, and diversions. It's the road to steadiness in the duck blind.
Duck Dog with Mike Stewart is presented by Purina Pro Plan, nutrition that performs.
The Pacific Northwest is just it's a magical place, and it seems like it's, in some ways, they don't have the history that an Arkansas or Louisiana or some of the traditional southeastern waterfall areas have. It sort of feels like the cutting edge, like the New Deal is out here. Yeah, and you know, some of them like, real still, real still. Let's go. Whoa, that's a good one. What a stud. That was pretty good. 3 widgeons right to the hole and just did it squared up in the hole perfectly. So what a great start. There's a single by himself too. He's coming right They were gonna hook out in that one green head, and he pulled the whole works into the hole. Like it was just cash money. Let's go.
Yeah, baby. That 1, 2, 3.
Was like the epitome of puddle duck hunting. Like 4 or 5 swings, and they worked like classically, like you'd, as soon as they clear the blind, you just pop them once on the corners, and around they'd come. You know, they'd get out to that front corner, bam, 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 around they'd come. I mean, it's like being a train conductor, and it makes the whole thing worthwhile.
What a fantastic hunt. One not without challenges, but a prime example of how having a plan and being flexible can spell waterfowl hunting success. Special thanks to Kent Contreras and friends for their hard work and for showing us such a great time. Your support of wetlands and waterfowl conservation through the efforts of Ducks Unlimited is much appreciated. See you next time on DUTV.